Guten Morgen. How are we doing? That's good morning in German. In case you didn't know that, you knew that. But did you know that I'm quarter German? Bet you didn't know that. Bastion of knowledge, me. And then I've got Irish and bit of Scottishness in me as well. And the English, and now I'm in America. I'm just like a proper mongrel, man. Proper mongrel. So yeah, I've got I've got 9 PlayStation 3 games, which sounds a lot, obviously, because it is. But you know, they were $40 buy it now. But it was a weird one on eBay because, you know, one day I was looking to waste some money, like we always do, you know, when we're browsing Tinternet, and I put in PS3 games, you know, in the search bar on eBay, and this one came up amongst many others. But this one came up straight away because it was on a buy it now for $40. But it had a starting price of $10.99, so it wasn't just on a buy it now auction. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. That's really cheap. $40 being around about 27, 28 quid, give or take, you know, if you're in the UK. So for 9 games, that's worth it. That's a bargain. But I looked at it, I couldn't quite work it out because I thought that you could list, you know, the days, how long you list an item for, in increments of, was it every 2 days? Like you could list it for 1 day, for 1 day, and then 3 days and 5 days. Maybe that was the old policy, maybe it's changed, I'm not sure. But this auction was weird because there was a day left, and a day and 2 hours left, which would indicate that it was up on eBay for a minimum of 1 day, if not 2. But no one had even placed a starting bid of $10.99, which I thought was odd, especially because the buy it now was so cheap, and obviously nobody had used that. So I looked at the auction, I read it, and I reread it several times, because I thought, is there something wrong with this? Are they maybe like knockoff games? Is there something wrong with them? Are they like pirated, cheap sort of versions? Is there something wrong with these games, basically? Because at $40 it was crazy, because there's at least 2 of these games, maybe 3, which kind of go in the sort of 15 to 20, you know, bracket. And I thought, well, you know, just 2 of them games alone is kind of pretty much nearly paid for all of them. So like I say, there's 9 altogether. I'll show you what they are. I'll show you some of the cheaper ones first, because they're not all great by any means. There's a few duds in here without question. But $40 for all of them. It's just a no-brainer. So I'll show you the first one. And it's funny, this first one, actually, because it sounds a bit rubbish, it looks a bit rubbish, but I was curious about this, and I nearly bought this on Amazon, where it's probably still listed. I think it was used, but, you know, about $9.99, $10, plus shipping, so you're looking at $11 or $12. Glad I didn't now, because it came in this bundle. But it's NPPL Championship Paintball 2009. Sounds ridiculous, like I said, there's a side, you want to see the side. And it just sounds absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know why I'm doing this, you won't be able to work it out. But yeah, I even though as silly as it sounds, I just really wanted to give it a try. Paintballing, it just sounded like a really novel, new game. I've never seen a paintballing game before. So I thought, why not? Let's get it. Next one up is Army of Two, and I've been wanting this one for a while as well. And this is the funny thing about all these games. Now, I've got the best part, you can probably see behind me, the best part of 110, 115 PlayStation 3 games, which is a lot. I'm aware of that. You know, pretty silly, maybe, to have that many so soon, if you like, into the PlayStation's life. But, you know, picking them up at this price, you know, your collection is just going to get bigger and bigger all the time. So, yeah, the funny thing is, none of these games I actually have, or had until now. Army of Two. So, yeah, it's been one which I did want to get. But then the sequel came out, and I just thought, well, should I just get the sequel? Because it's probably going to be better than the first. But then I thought, but if I get the sequel without playing the first, am I missing out kind of on the storyline? And now it doesn't matter. Now I have got the first, so I can play that, or at least play a bit of it, and then move on to the second. Next up is a game I used to really like on the 360. I guess I still do like it on 360. But it's a game called Pure, made by Disney, curiously, and it's just quad racing. It's really good. It's a little bit kind of I don't know. I was going to say it gets a little bit boring after a while, but there's a lot of customization. I can't even say the word right. Customization. I think I started to say it right and then stopped myself halfway through. That was a bit silly. UFC 2009 Undisputed. I'm not a UFC fan. I'm just not into this kind of thing at all. But, you know, for the sake of the collection, it's a nice one to have. Next one up is Need for Speed Shift. I don't like it when it's a white cover like that. I know it sounds silly, but it just looks bland and a little bit boring. Yeah, I'm not really a massive fan either of the Need for Speed games. But I'll give it a try. The one which I don't mind is Hot Pursuit 2 on the PS3, but I've only played about, you know, a couple of hours in the best part of 6-7 months with that. It's alright, but it's just, I don't know. I guess because I've got so many games, I always get bored. I always want to play something else, you know. I never really spend a lot of time with games. In fact, it was only, when was it? Maybe sometime last week I started to play Red Dead Redemption. You know, I've just never really done it. I took it online, played it with a friend of mine, the zombie mode, and it was fun. But it was quite hard, actually. I was surprised. But it's good, you know, for chilling out and talking on the old mic to your mates and stuff. That's good. I enjoy that. So next one, Vin Diesel. Wow. Wheelman. So I imagine this is a pretty cheap and cheerful title. Again, the white cover. Don't like it straight away. But it'll be interesting to try it out. And then the three which really I'd say are probably the best games in this lot. And the first one up, just in no particular order, first one up is Borderlands. And I'm glad this one, and same with all the others, you know, I'm glad they're not greatest hits or platinum or any of that nonsense. The original full release. You know, I know some people aren't bothered about budget labels, be it greatest hits, platinum, whatever. I am. They just annoy me. For me personally, they cheapen the collection. It shouldn't matter, but it does. It's just the way it is. So yeah, glad to have this, but I can't help thinking how similar it looks to the likes of Brink and Borderlands, Brink, Body Count, Bulletstorm, anything else beginning with a B, basically. They all seem to look the same, but I'll give it a try. And I've wanted to get it for a long, long time, but like I say, it's always hovering around that $15 mark. And I just thought, well, it's been out a few years now, I don't really want to pay that. In fact, funnily enough, I can't remember who it was, so apologies, but someone had this in the UK on a pickups video quite recently, and I thought it was quite weird how, you see how in the States we get this old-style red logo on the PS3 games. And it was the same in the UK and everywhere for that matter. But I believe, unless it was some kind of re-release, I believe in the UK, certainly the one that this guy was showing on his pickups, that the logo was the new one for Borderlands. So that's interesting. So maybe this game came out just when the logo changed to the new one, but maybe not in time for PAL regions. I don't know. Next one up is a game that I had on the 360, probably knowing me will get it back on the 360, but now I've got it on the PS3. It looks really good, but like I say, I've had it, I've played it, and it is a decent game. Somewhat slipped under the radar a little bit, and it's Grid. Race Driver Grid. And you can't work it out on the back, I'm sure, but it does look really, really nice. And I remember one of the novel things I found with this game is it had a rewind feature. Now, maybe it had been implemented into thousands of games in the past, but I'd never seen it up until this. And some people don't like it because essentially you can go around a corner, you can screw up, but you can rewind to before the crash happened and then make everything alright. Just go around the corner properly this time. And if you failed, then just rewind it again. I can't remember if you got limited rewinds. I'm sure you did. But yeah, some people didn't like that feature. I'm kind of touch and go with it. It's kind of a good idea. It's a bad idea as well. I guess, like I said, it just depends which side of the fence you come down on. And then last but not least in this auction, we have a game which I've done a gameplay video before, probably around about a year and a half ago, and it's a great game. Got it for the 360 and got it obviously now for the PlayStation 3, and it's Blur. And I just love the cover. I think it looks absolutely brilliant. All them neon lights, as I've touched upon before, you know, it's my kind of thing. And a pretty decent side-on view as well, if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, and all these are complete apart from Borderlands, which doesn't come with the instructions, but it's not the end of the world. They're all in good condition, and for $40, I thought that was an absolute bargain. So that's it. Short and sweet video for me, I think. Now, I do have, as ever, a couple of videos on the way. I've got a trade video. Someone, Dave Psychofox, has been very kind enough to send me a couple of things. They have arrived yesterday, and really pleased with that. I'll do a pickup, well, not pickup, kind of a sort of a pickup, showing off video of that sometime this week. Now, lazily, it's kind of not my fault. Blame the mother-in-law. I haven't sent Dave's stuff off yet, but that'll be going tomorrow. Embarrassingly, you know, I've kind of got my side of the deal, or he's done his part of the deal, and his goods are still sitting here. Ridiculous. But you'll have that soon, Dave. So that's that. And then, as ever, you know, I've got these Games X magazines. You know, I did this one, which was the preview issue. And, yeah, people seem to like that, which is good. You know, I guess if you're a fan of 8 and 16-bit gaming in particular, then you may want to continue watching all of them, because I am going to do them. It's just a case of I'm not sure on the regularity. I may do, you know, 1 a week, I may do 2 a week. I guess it depends when I get the time. But the next one is, well, obviously got to be issue 1. Don't know what I was looking. So I've done the preview issue, going to do issue 1. That'll be sometime this week. It could be today. It could be Friday. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.